70 miles north. And amongst the interest of the place, we used to run chooks. Chooks, to those that don't know the meaning of the word, means hens. Chickens. Hen and chickens. And it was my job daily to feed them with their morning food. And one day, which subsequently I knew as the day in which Baba dropped his body, one day I was traversing a dear little path leading to the chook house, when I happened to put my 2 buckets down. I had one of dry food and one of wet refuse, vegetable peelings and so on. I put one down, probably the wet one, because it was heavier than the other, and I thought the change would be lighten the job for me. It happened to be bigger mixture than usual or something. And I put it down and was about to pick it up, having changed it. And I discovered Baba looking at me about the distance from here to the end of the veranda there. And I thought how remarkable it was that this was possible. And as I was contemplating what had occurred, I've lost the thread, but when I was contemplating what was occurred, I had reason to again put the buckets down, and in this case, because a mosquito was biting me, and I just used the work, only to find that in doing so, I lost touch with Baba, because although I'd seen him twice during this paraphernalia of the bucket and the mosquitoes, although I'd seen him twice, it was still remarkably a bright picture that I had in my mind, and my sadness was in that the mosquito had bitten me, and I had been unwittingly put my buckets down at an angle, and Barbara, it seemed at that stage, had seen enough of me and
disappeared.
Yes, and disappeared.
That was on the very day that Baba had dropped the body.
Yes.
But Jan, isn't there something else when you saw Baba, and then didn't you? I remember hearing the story before, but didn't you?
You saw the next day also something.
But you also sort of disappeared or something, right?
Oh yes, that is right.
Isn't that the point?
Yes, I've forgotten that. After the second time we were having put down the bucket, I was aware of Baba again and discovered his presence in a nearby sort of shrub of gum tree, something like that, and his body was transparent, and I don't remember any other detail of that except that the transparency. I'm sorry, I can't do any better.
Well, the thing is that you saw him physically.
Yes.
What better thing could be done than that?
That's the detail.
Right. But did you see him second time too? After that, another day?
No, I don't think.
Or it was the same day that you saw while changing the buckets the second time?
Yes, I had both buckets with me on the occasion as I went over to the chook house.
same type of thing, but it's a different thing. There is a Baba lover in Joan that she sees. But what happened in Pakistan was quite different. Our Adi and Rhoda Dubash were contacting the program director of all Pakistan radios to broadcast a live program monitored towards India, you see. So they were trying hard. They thought that it would be a nice idea that if the live program of the day's function, 25th February, be heard by Baba and the Mandli. So they were contriving.
And this is before.
Naturally, it has to be before. Naturally, it can't be 25th February.
No, but I mean before Baba dropped his body.
Before dropped his body, of course. So they had all the plans, you see, working out, because Baba's birthday was continuing to be celebrated. On 31st January, his birthday was there, because it was in vogue at that time to celebrate the number of days prior to that. 75 days prior to his actual birthday. You see, so each day was a birthday celebration in different quarters of the country. So they had, somehow or other, they had to befriend the director, you know. It's not a thing to take a live program there, and who are you people and all that. So in order to bring this about, they tried to contact the director. They told him about Baba. They told him how nice it would be that people in India would hear this program and so forth. It will be a great program. They usually do on a large scale in a big hall. And they got these people interested to a degree where the wife of the director agreed to sing the Aarti of Baba on that day. We still have the recording. It means the tapes are there of what happened that day. So the books were given. Every now and then little feeding is to be done, you know. Go there, and Rhoda and Adi are adapting these things. So they did that. They went on doing it. And they were very happy that gradually they are coming closer and closer. They had not confirmed this yet. They had not confirmed. But maybe. And she had not agreed to sing the Aarti that day, that time, you see, during that occasion. But eventually it did transpire that way. So while they are getting them closer and closer, feeding them with Baba literature, photos of Baba and this and that and all that. And this is 31st January. At about, say, after lunch hours. The director has gone from his office and has retired in his quarter, in his bungalow. And he is resting on his bed. 31st January, after lunch, means about, say, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. He's now preparing now to get up from bed. They say that the position of the bed is like this. The bed is here, and there is a sort of a portico, porch, or whatever it is. There is a bench over there, and seats are there for visitors. They come, you know, because he's the director. Many people come there. They are the waiting room like thing. So he gets up from his bed and he looks out. There is a person sitting there. And he addresses the person. He says, MeherBaba, you are here? So he gets up and sits up. So he clearly hears the voice from MeherBaba saying that, all this time I was in India, but now I am everywhere. And that's all, and that's the end of it. Message reaches Pakistan. Next day, Adi Rhoda take up the phone and ring him that, well, MeherBaba has passed away. So Rhoda is on the phone, contacting him on the phone. So and so, I forget the name. They now begin to call him with his name, first name. So, who is speaking? So he is answering them, so and so. You are Mrs. Dubas speaking? You are Mrs. Dubas? Says, yes, I want to tell you the news. Yeah, I know. MeherBaba has passed away. Says, how do you know? Well, after all, I am the director of All India Pakistan Radio. I must know the news first. That's how it was taken, And they thought maybe it has been relayed, or they must have, naturally they have the access to all these. He had not heard that. So he said, oh, you heard over the radio? No, I heard from him directly. So what do you mean by it? So then he conveys this. Yeah, this happened. I'm everywhere.
And that was enough to make them then
And then that brought them, the whole gang, you see, that time, for live broadcast, monitored to India here, for Indian listeners. And his wife sang the Indian Aarti and all that. Being a Muslim, mind you. Call him the Parvardigar and Paramatma and all that. It's not a joke. But it needs these little touches,
Eruch, you know what Adi Bash's one of his first thoughts was when he heard that Baba had got the body? Do you recall what he said?
No, I don't recall.
Baba had given him an order not to eat chicken.
Yeah.
And he thought, well, that's it. I can never eat chicken. Baba will never rescind that order.
Yeah, it's just like Adi Dubash.
He thought as long as Baba was in the body, he could always change his mind and send him, cancel the order. But
Come this way a little bit.
Things came to light after he passed away, soon after, immediately after he passed away. We started hearing all these things. And from respectable people, it's not just made up stories.
I had a thing about that when Baba appeared to three of us. You remember I told that? At the time that I was living in Seattle. I
don't remember. You asked me?
Yeah, I told you here once before. But I was living in Seattle, Washington. I heard of Baba, and this is well back in '69. And they didn't have so much communication between the different groups and everything.
No, at that time.
And we had a few people there that were devoted to Baba, and there were a lot more, but we weren't in touch with each other. Well, we didn't hear about this last darshan. I mean, the opportunity to go over and see Baba. So we didn't.
But who were you?
A guy named Dusty.
Dusty.
A guy named Dusty. A girl named Marion. And myself.
Dusty Marion.
Dusty Marion. Anyway, we heard about about a month before Baba dropped the body about this darshan. We heard about this darshan, and I didn't have a job. This girl, she was an epileptic, and she didn't have any source of income or anything. She had no way of going, and we just heard about this. This is really on the west coast of the United States, northwest, and we started thinking, well, maybe we can take a ship, work our way over or something like that. We didn't know how we were going to do it. And we just got one letter that was some, mimeograph letter, and found out about this. And this is an opportunity to see Baba, and it just seemed like there was no chance. So then, a month later, we got the letter that Bob had dropped his body. And so anyway, it was a really small restaurant, about the size of from here over there. And it was a restaurant where all the people in the university area used to go when they were drunk, and they'd go there to sober up. It was open all night long. The walls were the glass panes were all greasy and everything like that. So and people on drugs would go in there. It was like really a hangout called the Hasty Tasty. Hasty Tasty. You go in there and get a quick bite. Anyway, the one feature about this place is that for 10 cents, you could drink all the coffee you wanted. You go get, a cup of coffee, and then they'd have it. They had one of these hot plates, and you just go over and help yourself to coffee. But anyway, we heard Baba drop the body. We were just in there a couple of days later, I don't remember, 2 or 3 days later, in the afternoon, drinking coffee and just talking about this and that. And we talked about Baba dropping the body and everything, but at that moment we were just talking about this and that. And we were sitting at this table, and there was one vacant chair next to me, and we were just sitting there talking, and suddenly Marion, this girl, looks over this chair and says, Baba's sitting in that chair, And I just tried to turn my head. It was like, and I turned my head, and Baba was sitting right there. And he stayed there for, I don't know how long he stayed. He just stayed and stayed and stayed, and then finally he went, and we just kind of held hands. We were like speechless. We just held hands for the longest time at the table. Then we got up. We didn't even talk. We just got up, paid for a coffee, and just walked out. We never.
Another satisfied customer.
And the same thing. But the thing too is we never said anything about that to each other again, even though we saw each other over the years. But the beautiful thing is that we had no way of going to the last darshan. We wouldn't have been able to make it, but Baba came, was there for us.
Did you get up with Baba? He got up with you, or?
Did he get up with you?
Yeah, when he went.
How did he go away? You left before he left, or what?
No!
We have to go now.
No, he just
Walked
he
away.
Yeah, he just went.
Disappeared.
But
Jeff?
tears just rolling down our, cheeks, and it was like that. And what were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
I think that was it. But
I was just going to ask how did he seem, as someone just described, translucent or transparent, or as Joan was saying, or did he seem just exactly?
I know. To her, she saw Baba in form. So she was looking right at Baba. There's Baba sitting in that chair. For me, it was like the light of a million suns. It was so brilliant. I couldn't even look in the outer fringe of it. It was so brilliant. And I tried. I thought, why can't I just turn my head and look into it? It was so brilliant. I was going to, and tears the light is so brilliant, tears are just streaming down my eyes, and I was trying to look into the heart of it, and I could only see the outer fringe of that. But now she was looking right at Baba.
There was a third person there also?
Yeah, a third person too. Now, I never asked what he saw, I never asked what she saw, but I know that I felt that she was seeing Baba there in form. And I never appealed to me, Baba being this brilliant light. I was like Baba as man, That's why, I don't know why it happened, I always kind of felt Baba as man and everything, but that such a brilliant light, and I wanted to look into it, but it was too blinding.
There was a vestige of wanting anything. That particular object always eluded me. I used to run after it, and yet I couldn't have it. But when I stopped running after it, anything, Then after all, it became anything and everything, just had nothing to do with it. Then all the things that would tantalize me to run after, they started chasing me then, instead of my chasing them.
That happened to me with a person I wanted, that I worked with, and I felt very uncomfortable because he didn't do things the way I wanted him to do. And I was just getting so upset about it at home, and I was thinking about him all the time, and I thought of that thing, don't want anything and you'll have everything. And I tried real hard to let it go, and I could do it. And the next day the guy came to me and said, I'm sorry that I did, I was wrong. And before he would insist and say, I do my things and that's the right way. I'm not going to do it the way you want them. And the next day he came and apologized. He said, I'm sorry, you were right when you said yesterday.
Yeah. Very beautiful experience that is. But recently we had another very glaring example. There was a real difference of opinion between the two heads of the department in a university. And the head of the department, one doctor, and the other one was also a doctor, having a doctorate in his subject. So the other one was a Baba lover. And the head of the department had nothing to do with Baba and Prasad. But having heard that he is a Baba lover, all the more he contradicted him in anything that he would want to say and all that. He took the matters to that degree where he even stopped his promotion. In its place, some junior was to be installed and all that sort of thing, and was installed. He took the chair and all that. And he felt much hurt about it, and he said, why Baba you are doing this, and why you did this, and why is it that I am treated by him like that? Every time he would go there, he would insult him before the janitors and other people. He holds a position, he holds a chair there in the university too. But this head of the department somehow or other took him to be cared so much for him that he is, as we call it amongst the Britishers, cared 2 farthings for him, you may call it.
Just because he was a Baba?
Not because some grudge is there, and more so because he was a Baba lover and so forth. And to an extent, he was so exasperated that he wanted to resign from his post. There was no way out because he's treating him like that. Like he's just scoffing at him all the time. Pardon, like dirt. Yeah. So in his desperation what he did? He wrote a long letter of all his woes. He's addressing to Avatar Meher Baba. And he addressed the envelope and says, please place this. In the name of Meher Baba, I implore you to just offer this to Baba. And now where to offer this to Baba? Where is Baba here? So we sent the letter to the tomb, you see. Or we placed it at the chair, whatever it was at the time. I forget now.
Was this while Baba was living, or this is
No, just 3 months ago, 4 months back it happened. 4 months back. So in his sheer desperation he had written this letter that decide now what I should do. There is no way out except to resign my post. And within 15 days we received the glorious and good news that all of a sudden he had taken a different turn. And he begged his pardon. Not only that, but the whole family of the head of the department came over here. He brought another doctor who was working under him. And all these people, you were here at the time?
No, but you were telling us about all those people, yeah.
It happens. When he just gave it up and resigned himself, just decide what I should do. It happens. If you want to rectify anything, if you want the way that you want it, then well, go ahead struggling yourself and striving and fighting it out, and yeah. But when you just give it up to him, give everything to him, let him decide, and be resigned to whatever he decides. Yeah.
I just realized a little more what my question was. It was like when you were talking about your sweet little room that was so simple at one point in your life, and when Mani was talking about the new life and how you had to be ready just to leave everything and go. And I just start feeling so encumbered by my material existence. I was realizing how hard it is for me to be ungreedy about that level in a certain way.
But, Ginny, this is where you have been placed. So it's your ability to hold on to things that are there. When the time comes, all this, you'll be prepared. You wouldn't want to have a second look at all these things. You wouldn't even care who takes it. You wouldn't want to even feel responsible for leaving everything behind like that. When the time comes, he takes charge about it. But why want to prepare? Why worry before worry worries you see? It doesn't matter. You are placed in such a position, you are surrounded by all the amenities, all the things, and well, enjoy at the time. But at the same time, always have Baba in the midst of all whatever it is, all the encumbrances that you feel there, everything is there. All things that are there, use them for Him. All whatever it is, I don't know what you are aiming at or hinting at. Whatever you are surrounded with, all the furniture, all the amenities, you may have the frigidairs and the air conditioners and this and that. All of them, bring in Baba in that to give him more comfort. You see, have more, even purchase more to give him more comfort. I'm serious about it. So why not give him comfort, you see, with all these things? Yeah. If you bring him in life, it will be a different life. In spite of all the paraphernalia that surrounds you, you won't feel about anything about it. It's for him. It's for his comfort. It's there. And how do you mean by his comfort, you see? Bring him in your life. Live in him. Live for him. Baba would like this. Wouldn't Baba like to have some ice cream there? Wouldn't Baba want to have hot water for his bath? Wouldn't want Baba the temperature to be even? I know he didn't like too hot, didn't like too cold. Everything, anything that is there, you see. Oh, the draft is there. Baba didn't like draft. So what should we do? We should see that it is. But I like the draft. But Baba doesn't like it. Let us shut it for the time being. Kid yourself. Go on kidding. Eventually, one day he is there before you. And you get frightened, you see, to see him there. Likewise, that's how you should live. It seems so childish, so fictitious, and yet it is the truth.
You mean pretending he's with you all the time and you're arranging?
You're pretending what is in fact true.
We call it a pretension, but it is a fact. It is pretension not to see him as he is now. But how can we say the opposite? So pretend to see him because he is. You follow what I'm saying? It is pretentious on our part to say that, well, we don't see him. What do you mean? Do you want me to pretend that he is here? Yes, I'll say, pretend that he is here. But it is pretending that we are not seeing him, really speaking. That's how our eyes are turned differently, you see. Our visions are quite different. We kid now ourselves that we are talking about him and he's not in our midst.
But do you feel like he's here? It's not pretending for you?
No, I feel it that way. Yeah. His presence is there.
Well, Baba traveled with lots of paraphernalia too, didn't he? I mean, when he went on these trips.
Sometimes he did and sometimes he didn't do. You know how the paraphernalia started coming in? The Western influence. Don't laugh, but it's a fact.
The gadgeteers.
Not the gadgets at that time, of course, but it's the, Baba, you'd like to have this great coat. Baba, this is more important. Have it, then have it. And who bears the burden? The camels who are around you.
Why don't you just kind of leave one of the bags off at one stop, and then when another?
No, that's not possible.
Another just.
That is not possible.
Once you had it, you were responsible.
Yeah, it's responsibility.
Well, Gene is young, but here I am with this humongous house with all the truck for my kids and myself. I want to just turn the key and stick a burning ember in the car window and
Don't
run.
do that. Never never bring such thoughts.
Go of it. Oh, I tell you, it's
No,
everything
no,
that I own owns me. I know full well I couldn't walk away from it. I think of Rhino's little room here. Just enough room to live, and it looks like heaven.
You just see my room there. You have no idea. It was so simple. You have no idea, Ginny. But see now, only this morning I said, you were there, or to whom I said,
Yeah.
It's a store, Marunar storehouse. What I said? So many things are over there, extraneous, not wanted, but what can we do? It's poured by love. All right, have it, keep it. What can you do? It's the things that are given by love are chasing us now, and we are running away from there. Formerly we wanted, and we were running after them, and they eluded us. Now we have turned our back on them, and they are chasing us, and we are running away from them. That's how it is. And it is so true what you said just now. Who is that? She has gone.
Gone.
Yeah. It is
Dory.
Dory. Yeah.
Well, Baba would keep the things that musts gave him too, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, because of love. There are still clothes. We haven't even dared to open them. If we open, we might faint. The stench would be so great, you see. I don't know what it must be transformed into now. One day Must asked him that, give me all this and take mine. So Baba started taking out the clothes. I said, Baba, no, he was. So he started with the hat. So hat was given, the coat was given, the pajama, trousers were given, everything was given. And in its place, he wore all that, you see, because of love. I am the slave of the love of my lovers. Time and again he would warn us, I am not your slave. You call yourself my lovers, I am not the slave of my lovers. I am the slave of the love of my lovers. I am the lord of my lovers, but slave of their love for me. Always that. Baba would always, sometimes he would even give out a little chuckle about it all. Yeah, about our setup, you see. Everything that around us, you see, we take it for granted. We are so complacent about everything that is there, you see. But it's not that. It's quite different. And when he says something differently, we have to accept, kidding ourselves that what he says, well, all right, we pretend to believe what he says. But really speaking, there is no, the pretension is that I'm not believing. That's how it is. What can we say? And these little glimpses come. There's no such thing as just saying it, tall talk, no, we feel his presence is there and all that. But there are testimonies, there are things that come to light, you see. The story of Anne Burgoyne, you see an empty chair, right? And she herself believes that it is empty. And what is it about? You know the story about Anne Burgoyne? Have you heard about the name of Anne? And you have heard of Anne Burgoyne?
And she trained horses for candy.
She was in Spain.
Yeah. She was, Anne was working, Anne is well-built woman.
6 feet tall.
Young woman. And it's needed, that physique is needed because she used to break horses. She was a trainer. So she was employed by a couple, Baba lover in Spain. She didn't know anything about Baba or anything, but she worked hard and helped them on their farm. She used to break horses, harness them and do this and that. So after a year's employment, she earned a vacation. So she prepared to leave the place for a short while, and they asked as to where she was going for the vacation. So she very cheerfully said, well, I'll go to India, I'm going to India. I said, what? You're going to India? She says, yes. Where? No, I'm going to Madras, Adyar. For what? She says, well, I have enrolled myself for yoga classes and I'm going there. I have paid the fees there. So there is a course of about a month and a half. I'll take that course, I like it. Oh. On your way, will you do one favor? She says, yes, what can I do for you? On your way, you'll pass by Ahmednagar. You see, you're going south. So there's a place called Ahmednagar. Will you go there, stop there for a while? She says, sure, what, you want me to do something? She says, yes. Pay our respects to the places at Meherabad and Meherazad. Will you go there? Says, oh yes, I'll do that. And she comes, not knowing anything about it, she comes here. And first thing, she was given the address, how to contact. So they gave the address of the Avatar MeherBaba Trust office. So she comes one day, say at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in a rickshaw. And at that time Mani was working somewhere near the pots there. There were some weeds there she was plucking out from the pots. In the office, trust office. Office hours are almost over now. So she was there, seeing somebody come, a Westerner. It's early years, mind you. Not many Westerners would flock. Some come, getting out of the rickshaw. So she goes there, as you know how Mani's nature is. She says, oh, Jai Baba, and she goes there. So she is cold as anything, like an iceberg. She was tall, blonde and all that. She says, Jai Baba. So, is this Avatar MeherBaba office? He says, yes, come inside. And she brings him, and well, she walks stiff and all that. So Mani says, somebody has come, and then she spoke to me in Gujarati. It seems she knows nothing about Baba. So I said, yes, what can we do to help you? So she says, I have to go to a place called Meherabad. Is there a place here? I said, yes, 5 miles from here. Yeah, you can go in the rickshaw if you want to. You have just arrived. Wouldn't you want to take some rest or anything? So no, I am on my way to Adyar and I have been told to go there. So, well, what are you going to do there? So, well, I have to, on behalf of somebody, I have to be there. That's all. And well, convey their respects. Yeah. Okay, I'll instruct them. What's your name, by the way? So my name is Burgoyne. Anne Burgoyne. Oh, I said. To break the ice, I said, I created a little joke and I said, oh. We had Burgoyne mixtures, ague mixtures. When we had fever, a lot of fever, we used to have that at the time of the Britishers. So I can easily remember your name, I said. And just...
Small.
Yeah. So he says, by the way, there is another place called Mezad. I said, yeah, but it's 9 miles from here. You can't go now because it will be closed by the time you reach there. What you do, the best thing for you, and you stop yourself there somewhere. We'll send a man. You can put your luggage there, go to Meherabad and stay overnight. And then, no, but I have no time. I said, well, then you can go if you have no time. No, but I have to go. Then you have to take it next trip. Next day you can go to Meherazad. You can't have both the things at one and the same time. It's too late for Meherazad now. So she must have decided to go. She stayed there at Dawlat Lodge at the time. There was just opposite the trust office. Then she went to Meherabad. We didn't know, on her own she went. And when she went there, naturally Nana Kher came there and hailed her with Jai Baba and tried and embraced her. And she said, what's this, all this, you see? There at the trust office, she had the shock. A lady was embracing. Here is a man is embracing, you see. So I said, welcome home and all that. She's not used to all this sort of nonsense going on here. So, well, she had no other way except, well, says, what's here? Says, there is the tomb shrine of Meher Baba. Come inside. So she stood there and she left. And she determined that when she visits Meher Azad the next morning, she's going to tell right away that she's not a lover of Meher Baba or has anything to do with Meher Baba. She has just come to visit the place because she has been told by her employer to do so, and that's all. So she came here. But unfortunately, when she arrived here, she found her voice lost totally. She couldn't speak. Couldn't speak to tell people that she had nothing to do with Meher Baba. She lost her voice and she arrived here. So naturally Alaba was there, she led her here and she wants to say something. Can't say, not even this whisper. Thank you. Can't even whisper. Such hoarseness or something settled down that she couldn't speak out. And she is all embarrassed and all Alaba is saying to her is, here is where Meher Baba used to sit, you know. Bow down here, this place. Take your tea. Yeah. So she looks at him, says, don't you know how to bow down? So he bows down. This is how we do it. I says, what the heck is all this? You see, it's an empty chair and this sort of thing. But then Alaba, of course, said that with these people, what's the sense? Just left her there and went away. And then there is nobody. She looks here, there. After all, this little man is insisting that I should bow down and there's nobody. After all, bowing down, what's there in that in an empty chair? I'll bow down. So she puts her head there and it is impossible for her to lift her head. That's all. And then there was at the time no clinic over there. We had clinic in one of our small rooms, dingy little place here, one of the rooms here. So after the crowd had gone, the whole veranda would be filled with people and all. So Ghaver comes tired, and cycling, sees a solitary woman here, weeping her heart out. And there's nobody here to help her. And Ghaver, poor Ghaver, her heart goes out to her. She puts the cycle down there and comes inside and embraces her. And she allows her to embrace. And she sobs and weeps and cries and all. Then comforts her. Nothing could contain her. So after a while, she feels best to leave her with Baba and then leaves. When she left, nobody knows. When we return in the evening, she flares up, Ghaver says, there's nobody over here to take care of the poor pilgrims who come over here. Baba lovers are here. And there is a woman here who was weeping. I don't know how long she remained weeping. I was so tired. In spite of it, I came. But I was so tired, I had to go. And nobody, I don't know what happened to her. I said, what? Who came? What is it that you are saying? So, she described. Said, was she blonde? I said, yeah. What was her name? I didn't even ask. She couldn't even speak out her name or anything. So, was she Anne? But it is impossible for Anne to weep here like that. How can she shed a single tear? What must be this? So, we thought somebody else had come. And then, of course, it was all forgotten and all that. But then, since then, one thing happened, that persons are posted here. On Thursdays, I remain. On Tuesdays, Natu remain here. Only on Mondays and Wednesdays, there's nobody here. Otherwise, we somehow or other take little time off from the trust work and be here. Next weekend, when we are all here, what we find in the crowds, there was a small crowd. This tall lady is here. I remember her name, that Burgoyne, English ague mixture. I said, oh, Anne, you are here? What happened? You didn't go to Madras? And with a big smile says, I am hooked here. I said, what happened to you? And she didn't say anything. I said, come on, come inside, I'll show you this and that. And for the first time, of course, I told her about this hall and Baba's pictures and all that sort of thing. And then we all sat. And I said, what's the matter with you? And you were in great urgency to leave the place and go to a DR for your, somewhere in the south, for some work that you had. So she then narrates this story about this chair not being vacant. So what she said was this much, that when I came, she told all the story, that I had prepared myself to speak out. I wouldn't want myself to be just hugged and embraced and thinking that I am a Baba lover or something like that. I don't know who Meher Baba is and all that, but my voice got choked, this, that and all that. Then I came, then she spoke about Alopa and how embarrassing it was. Why the heck I should bow down to this place? Who am I? Why should I do this? All this sort of thing. But thinking that he's a little person, he had asked me and seen here and there, I bowed down. And when I bowed down, it happened, something fell on me. So I was turned topsy-turvy, upside and down, and I didn't know what to do. I cried and I cried and cried. All that I get. What happened? I said, what happened? And then she begins to weep and cry loudly. Till this day she has visited thrice. Till this day we haven't gone further away from this, that I put my head and something fell on me and turned me upside down and all that. And what happened after that, it hasn't come out of her mouth. As soon as she says, she begins to weep and cry. So that's what it is. Who asked me where the person is gone?
It's all passing.
We sort of said yes, we wanted to hear the story.
No, who asked me about his presence? Do you feel the presence?
Jean said, do you feel his presence?
Who said that?
Jean.
Oh, Ginny? You said that? No, she didn't.
I asked you.
Yeah.
You were explaining how it wasn't pretending that he really.
Yeah, it is. Right, that's right. Our pretensions are that we don't feel his presence. So that's far it is. And then she went, by the way. And she had to go because she didn't have any money. She would come and listen to all the Baba stories. For 2 weeks she was here. She couldn't stay more because there was no money for the hotel and all that. And she said that I'm going there I don't want to go, but I have no money. I'm sure I'll get my money from my mother and others. But in the meantime, I'll try to coax that man to return my fees. But then she wrote a letter that it's impossible. And she wrote a beautiful letter. It's a real testimony. Where is that, Balaji?